What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. And as you can see today, we're going to be taking a look at the BUZZmod 1/12 scale Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba. And I am very excited for this figure. So that being said, let's get into that sexy packaging so we can go ahead and bust this guy out and see what he's all about. Now for that sexy packaging, as you guys can see, they went with the color scheme of the character, and I really love the fact that they did that. You do have the black and green, which matches his signature jacket. You have Aniplex right there, Demon Slayer right there, BUZZmod 1/12, Tanjiro Kamado. You got the window where you can see the figure. That thing just looks so sick. And of course the accessories in the back, BUZZmod 1/12 scale, BUZZmod right there, 1/12 again, an image of him at the bottom getting ready to swing his sword. Up top it just says BUZZmod 1/12 scale action figure. Same thing going on at the bottom. Nothing on the side. It just says Demon Slayer BUZZmod, and then same thing right here on this side. Then of course the back is where you get to see the figure in all its glory with some of the accessories and some poses you can get him into. Then this is all of the legal stuff that I am not able to read. So yeah. Now that being said, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and we can dive right into this figure. Now, straight out of the package, here we do have the BUZZmod Tanjiro Kamado figure, and it looks like this guy came straight out of the anime. So, first off, I've got to give it props to BUZZmod. They did a really good job on the sculpt. Now, as far as I know, this is their very first figure, unless they have released some things that I just don't know about. I believe this is their very first figure. And they did some things that I really like about this figure, but they also did some things that I dislike. But before I get into any of that, I am going to go ahead and talk about the sculpt and everything, the details. As you guys can see, face sculpt wise, this is Tanjiro. Automatically. They did a great job on that. Even the eyes look the same exact way they do in the anime. Now they do have... they kind of reflect light a little bit. As you guys can see, there's a glare in there. So I don't know what they use as far as the paint on those, but you can also see it on the scar as well. It's not bad, but if you have direct light on it and you're photographing it, that's something just to be leery of. But as far as the hair sculpt, they did a really good job. It's brown, but it has this really nice black wash to it. I feel like the scar should have been a little bit lighter, but still, it's a good job. They did the earrings correct. I really love that. Now, as far as his outfit, from front to back, I really love this kanji right here, by the way. They did a good job on that. But it's actually like a brownish color, which I believe in the anime, it comes off as almost black. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm caught up with the anime because I'm not. I just started rewatching this show because I never could make myself sit down and watch it. So I'm not going to act like I know everything in this review. But it's a brownish color, and I believe in the anime it looks black. But I'm just letting you guys know. I'm not going to say it's accurate or not. But it's this dark brownish color, and it looks kind of, I don't know, it's like a weird brownish color to me. It looks fine, but it's just a color I'm not used to seeing. And then like right here, as you guys can see, it's a little glossy. Then right here, it's not. But the reason being is because all of this right here is a floating piece. So as you guys can see, the crotch piece is floating, and then this piece right here at the midsection is floating. Now, I don't too much care for that. Maybe it worked with the articulation. That was the best way they could figure out how to make it work. But I feel like they could have just cut it into the sculpt and it would have been fine. But the arms, this is another thing I don't really care for because it kind of has that Revoltech look where underneath it you see that joint going in there. That's something I hate about Revoltech. But of course, I mean, it does help to pose, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. But it does have what looks like the Figma joint right here, and so you can get swivel out of that. He can bring his arms up about that much. Now, as far as his hands go, paintwork on the skin tone looks really nice. And I love what they did with the pants. I know it keeps seeming like I'm getting into articulation, but I really love how they sculpted this part in right here. This brown just looks like, I don't know, like my figure kind of looks like it's dirty. I don't know what it is with that. Like I said, this is their first figure, so I'm not going to fault them too much because they did a lot right, but there are some issues I do have. But as far as the feet go, as you guys can see, everything does look good. It doesn't feel cheap, but it doesn't feel authentic. I don't know if that's the way to put it, but something just feels off. But that's not meaning it's a bad figure at all. I just hit the camera, my bad. But it's just something about the paintwork on this figure that's not resonating with me. But that being said, I've rambled on about the details way longer than I planned. I'm going to put this guy back, see how tall he stands, and then we'll move on to the articulation. Now, as far as how tall he stands, as you guys can see, he's right at about 5.5 inches. So obviously he does look like a kid. They did sculpt him to be the right size, but at the same time, being that he's an import, he does feel a little bit bigger than most imports. And of course, I will be doing some size comparisons a little bit later. I just wanted to throw that out there so that you guys were aware. Now, for the articulation, as you guys can see, he looks up pretty good. I've got to give them that. He looks up very, very well. He looks down really well also, and a lot of it comes out of the neck. Like with the neck, you get a lot of range. You can get really good expression, but also his head is on what is a hinge, and so this is what it looks like inside, and I think they did a good job with this. I've got to give him an A+ on that. Now to the arms, which I don't really care for, they do work great. As you guys can see, he can move his arm up about that much. He can bring his arm all the way in over his chest, so you can definitely get some good swinging poses out of this guy, no problem. You do have a slight built-in swivel right there, but this is what you're going to want to keep hidden. So most of the swivel is going to come right here. As you guys can see, there's a hinge. Now, he doesn't get much range in terms of bending his elbow. You only go up about 90 degrees. That's one flaw, I have to say. I don't really care for that, but I mean, yeah, nothing you can do about it. His hands are also on a hinge, as you guys can see, so you can move those up and down and all around. No problem with that being hindered just a bit by the sleeve. Now, for the diaphragm joints, you can actually pull up on this a bit and crunch him forward. And so he leans forward about that much. He leans back about that much. Of course, you get swivel out of it, and then you get even more at the waist, as you guys can see. So that's why I said this floating piece can work. It's just going to be more so annoying than anything. But as you can see, he can move all around, no problem. And I kind of pulled that off. So yeah, it just clicked back on. That was my fault. But legs are on the drop down method, and strange, this is an issue I actually saw with Carnage. So you can pull the leg off, but it drops down and he can kick forward very, very well, actually. He can kick back very well. He can do the splits good enough. Of course, there's a swivel in there. Once again, the knee. I really love how they did this, but the paint work on that knee looks bad. But he does have a swivel right here at the boot. That's something that I enjoy. His foot goes down about that much, up about that much. You do get really good ankle rocker and toe hinge. Now, another thing I want to show, just because I did this earlier, you can pull this right out. And I don't know what it is, but like this figure is very, very easy to just pull apart if you wanted to. Like you could really, really just pull this guy apart. And I mean, that's good because it means he's not going to break, but at the same time, this is a very, 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 very expensive and hard to get figure. So I'm hoping with the next couple of releases, they will up the quality a bit and make it more difficult to take this guy apart. So yeah. Now for accessories, this is where they really went all out with this guy. You start with the default face, which is just him smiling. You also get a pair of relaxed hands. Then, of course, you get a pair of sword-holding hands. As you guys can see, there's little openings in those. You get a pair of open palm hands, which all of these look really good. Not a whole lot of paint going on, but they're still cool. You get a pair of fist hands. And then when it comes to alternate head sculpts, you do get this teeth-gritted face, which is him when he's getting ready to battle or in the middle of a battle. Looks really good as well. The sculpt on that is very nice. And of course, you get this one, which is actually my favorite. I just like this expression. This reminds me of something, but I don't know what. And I find it so funny. But I love this. I'm definitely going to use this one a lot. Now, you do get his sword sheath, as you guys can see, sheathed. And you can pull that right out of there. So if you want to have him holding the sword, and obviously you just kind of plug this right into here. And I probably should have waited to do this. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, that's pretty much where it goes. Then, of course, you do get the sword itself. And one thing I forgot to mention, let me pull this one back up. The paintwork on these swords and the sheath is very, very clean. They did a great, great job. Even though it's just black, silvers, and a little bit of gray, it's a great job. They did phenomenal on the paint. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier that I wish I would have waited to say, I said you could take this figure apart easily. And the lower half, that's actually supposed to happen because you do get these extra legs. And I knew about this, I just forgot. You get these extra legs where basically this is him kind of kneeling down whenever he's being taught something or when he's just in the house being respectful. You do get a purple mat for him to kind of kneel on. So very cool accessory. You also get the box that he carries his sister Nezuko in. Don't try to open this like I did. This is a very soft plastic right here. The box is hard, but this is a soft plastic and you can bend it. Now, these are plugged into here, so you can actually pull these out. He comes with two of them, of course, and they tell you how to install them. They tell you it goes on the left or the right, so another cool accessory. And also the paint on this is great as well. I really want to make sure I let you guys know where the paint is good because on the figure it does lack a bit. Now he comes with a literal, let me scoot him back, Ring of Fire accessory, and that is awesome. I love that. I don't know why I put him in the middle, but that is sick. I really love this, and it's two pieces. This is the actual ring, and then this is just kind of like the effect of when he's getting ready to swing the sword, charging up, whatever. But you could just sit this on top of there, and that looks so good. And last but certainly not least, you guys already knew this was coming, the jacket. And it's in this plastic right here. I'm actually about to put this on and probably leave it on for the rest of the review. But yeah, he comes with a fair amount of accessories and I am happy with it. And now real quick, I just wanted to show what he looks like with the jacket on. And I will say that this jacket works wonders in certain aspects. One, I don't like so much, but I will say it does hide those ugly joints at the shoulders, which obviously you're going to pose him with the jacket on 90% of the time anyway. One thing I also like is that it does have bendy wire in it. This thing is thick, like, that's what she said. But as you guys can see, this thing can be windswept, no problem. So I really love that they did that. But seriously though, the jacket is really, really thick, and so it looks good on him. It looks a little big, but for the most part, you can still get all of the articulation. You just kind of have to play with it a little bit. As you guys can see, the stitching right here is very, very thin. This is one of the things I was going to say I disliked about it. The stitching is really, really thin right here. So when you're posing him with his arms out like this, be careful because this is something that'll just straight up rip. I can tell right off the bat. So be careful with this jacket because it's nice, but you don't want to rip it. Now for some size comparisons, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Custom Animated Heroes or ACE, a Figma My Hero Academia Red Riot or Kirishima, and of course the Mafex Adult Miles Morales. Next up, here he is standing next to a few anime protagonists. We do have the leader of all of them, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, a Saiyan raised on Earth, the best selection SH Figure Arts Naruto Uzumaki, and of course one of my favorite figures this year, the Revoltech My Hero Academia Deku. Lastly, here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends 2-pack movie Deadpool, the Mafex Metacom Batman Returns, I believe, The Dark Knight Returns, and then of course the McFarlane Deku with a custom Age of Heroes head sculpt. Now for my final thoughts on this figure, I'm going to come right out and say, this isn't a figure that everyone's going to like. Some people are probably going to prefer the Figma more, even though it has that blocky look to the jacket and the pants. Some people are just going to prefer that one more. This one is one, if you're used to collecting SH Figuarts, Figma, Mafex, it's one that's going to really take time for you to get to like. Throughout the entirety of the review, I was kind of like, it's an okay figure. It's definitely not worth the price that it goes for, but there is a really, really good fun factor to this figure. Once I started taking photos, I got going and I almost didn't want to stop. This guy is fun. I will give him that. The jacket that has the bendy wire in it makes for much better posability. The expressions, the accessories, you get a lot of options with this guy. And so playing with this guy is when he's fun. Reviewing it, it was kind of meh, and I tried to be as eccentric as I could for this review, but like I said, after I started posing him around, that's when I really started having fun. So I'll say this. If you can get your hands on this guy for a good price, by all means, go for it. Do not go through what I went through to get this figure, though, because it's not worth all of that. And by that, I don't mean price. I mean just going through a bunch of different websites, it being sold out. Your best bet right now is going to be eBay. I think there are still some people selling this guy. The closest I saw to retail being 109, the closest I saw to that was like 150. I paid 180 for this guy. Way too much. But if you want it, if you genuinely want this figure, pay for it while it's under 100, because Demon Slayer merchandise, figures, collectibles, anything Demon Slayer sells out. Once you miss it, you miss it, and you're going to be paying scalpers for it. So if this review made you want this figure, go ahead and get it. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. But it's definitely a likable figure. So that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If so, once again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace. All right, one last thing before I get out of here. This is why it's always good to read the instructions that come with your figures. Now, I don't think any instructions came with this guy, but just saying, I realize why this guy is so easy to take apart, because these knees are actually not just for squatting. And so I really love what they did with this. The feet actually come off of these. And so basically what this can be for is, and I'm going to show photos instead of trying to do it live on video, but you can plug the feet from the original legs into these, and it helps with getting more of those dynamic poses and things like that from when he gets ready to attack. And so you can switch it up and have both legs on, and it looks really cool. So like, as you guys can see, he's now in a, you can, if you pose him right, get him in a running pose. And so that is really dope that they included that. So yes, these have interchangeable feet, and that's what they're for. So wanted to make sure you guys were aware. Once again, I'll show the promo images as well, so you can see the other options that you have.